Is ignorance really bliss, or is this just a good excuse for us to continue to turn the blind eye and continue to live out in our dysfunction and not take responsibility for it? Welcome back to my channel. This is Yelena Talks, and I love talking about psychology, spirituality, all these abstract things that are actually very real in our life. And the more we understand how it shows up in our specific life and situation, the more we can have breakthrough. So in today's video, I will be diving in and exploring this topic of ignorance. Is ignorance really bliss? Well, if you are denying different things and dissociating and checking out and distracting and turning the blind eye, basically looking away from what's at hand, how can you experience bliss? In my opinion, awareness, presence is bliss. When you can feel that bliss, when you've dealt with the stuff that's not bliss, right? So this topic isn't necessarily about bliss as it is about our responsibility to be aware. So here's the thing. Oftentimes we are praying for breakthroughs and we want our story to change, and we're so tired of being stuck in certain ways. So what are we doing to explore and really turn on the light and start to examine and see what's going on? What are the same patterns I keep repeating? Where do I get stuck? Where am I collapsing? Where is it that I get so close to maybe success and then I just drop everything and I just go back to these old ways? Until we really get serious, A, hungry for our success, our goals, and B, start to really put in the work. Until we get serious about that, we're not going to be able to change anything because we won't even know what to change. And so if we keep just saying like, hey, like I want this to change and I want to have love and this and that, but we aren't doing anything to examine our heart, our brain, our patterns, none of that, then we can just accept the fact that we are actually very content with our current way. Because you have to be hungry enough or desperate enough or hate something enough or desire, again, be hungry enough for something different to actually put in the work and do something about it. And so when we say like, oh, I don't really know what's going on, I have nothing to change, like, this is what happens. Sometimes people will say, yeah, I want a better life, but it is how it is right now. Sometimes it's just easier to not do anything. It's easier, or it seems, right? The illusion of easy, although it takes a lot to like look the other way and not go into it. But it's easier to say, oh, I'm fine. I don't have anything to work on. I'm just going to continue to pray. I'm just going to continue to do what I've been doing. Okay, you don't have anything to deal with. You don't have to be tangibly responsible for anything. Okay, and that's why in that aspect, sure, ignorance is bliss, but it's more like you denying reality and responsibility is you just being kind of comfortable, or maybe even comfortably numb. I don't know. But when you start to say, you know what, I want to see what's going on, what's preventing me from getting to my goals, right? Then you have to turn on the light. And if I have done any kind of work with myself or the clients I serve, then we all know it is uncomfortable when the lights start to turn on and we start to see really how dirty our room is, how dirty our laundry is, right? How messy, how disorganized, how we say one thing, but then we turn on the lights and we examine it and we say something totally different, right? Then we start to take that responsibility and ownership to do something. Then you have to look at your quote unquote shadows, your problems, your dysfunctions, where you co-created a certain experience because of your role, where you enabled, where you didn't speak up, where you were so close but you collapsed, or you started to operate out of these maladaptive schemas. When you look at that stuff, people start to get a little overwhelmed. It's uncomfortable. It's humbling. It stinks. Okay? Welcome, like you're a human being, but this is why we're going into it, to stretch it out, to clean, expand your capacity, your nervous system to receive, to break patterns, right? Think about it like when we're attracted to, like, let's say ladies, emotionally unavailable men, and you keep running after their little breadcrumbs. Okay, it takes a lot to be like, why am I addicted to that? Why am I addicted to this cycle? Let's use those words. Why am I so content with the crumb? Why do I love this chase? Why, and how do I reprogram and do something different? How do I break that cycle? How do I start to honor myself? And in fact, when you start to realize you only accept from others what you accept from yourself, Instead of blaming other people for breadcrumbing you, you realize you've been breadcrumbing yourself this whole time. How crummy is that, right? So when you start to see the stuff you're working on, the patterns, it's hard. Everyone likes to dream big and imagine and envision, but then when you're in the work, it's like, oh my gosh, there's a lot to do, right? So then you can do things different. You change how you react. You break old cycles. You establish new paths. We know the brain, it's kind of lazy with its neural pathways, right? It doesn't like to relearn things. It doesn't like to do different. But again, how else do you expect your whole life to change for you to achieve these amazing, massive goals? I have known so many people from my personal life and just in general. Sometimes people will DM me, I want to experience love. I want to experience breakthrough. I don't want to yell at my kids anymore. Okay, wonderful. So here is my platform. Let's say the talk shop, where women come in. You pay a small subscription, and then you have all the support, resources, access to group coaching. Like the lights really start to turn on, right? And this is one resource out of a bajillion that we have in our online world and, in-person world. And the amount of people that I still will see them pull back. And then they'll go DM someone else. And then, nope, that program's too expensive. Oh, then they'll DM someone else. Okay, never mind. You're doing classes in the evening, or it's this, or you're online, or you're not speaking the language, or you're like, when a person is not all in, they will find every excuse under the sun to not be all in. But when a person commits his ways, then nothing will hold them back from experiencing, again, their goals, the desires of their hearts. And once you go in, you take that step, okay, I'm ready. It's an act of humility, but it's an act of courage. And the Bible talks about rewarding people above and beyond. Anything that you do will be added to you. Okay, seeking the kingdom, right? Like, you do good, you want to experience love and abundance and freedom, and you experience that with yourself and people, and then more of that will be attracted into your life. But the more you're you have excuses, you continue to stay stuck in your cycles of suffering, the more you keep blaming other people, the more problems you're only going to reap. And then in the grand scheme of things, you have this entire life. What have you done with it other than repeat the same pattern over and over with the same friends, with the same dating partners, with the same jobs? It doesn't even matter. So this kind of goes out to our responsibility to usher and steward our own life. Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance will, it leads to destruction and a lot of disappointment. When you look at your fruit in your life and you really are disappointed with the fruit that you see, who else can you at that point blame? Sometimes other than ourselves, right? Because we co-create, we participate in these dynamics, these experiences in life. I've said this a couple times before in other videos, but if you want to feel better, right, you have to increase your ability, stretch yourself to feel more in general. And then when you feel the things you're not liking, I don't like how I'm shutting down. I don't like how I'm yelling. I don't like how I'm starting to get nerve. When you feel these things and work through that and start to process it out and get rid of it, then you usher in more capacity to now hold beautiful things. The more you will like yourself, the more you will like being in your body, in your emotional experience. Those are amazing people. I had, even this week, I was like, dang, I'm so happy. And I almost started to just cry, and I probably did. Of just all these little things I've done, these little decisions, these little classes, from my working on my body, to my mental, to my emotional, to my spiritual health, embodying that, right? I'm not just learning these things. I'm doing the work, I'm processing emotions, I'm stepping out in courage. And the more I'm loving life. I'm loving my life. So think about it, the word universe, it's you. Right? What's your verse? What's your Bible story? You are your own Bible story. So my point is, I'm only loving my life more and more. And the women in my talk shop have told me, I'm starting to see breakthrough. I'm starting to see success. Oh my gosh, I broke that pattern. What? I just realized I don't have to live like this. And then I changed it. Even my husband noticed, and my kids are happier. This is what happens when you decide that ignorance is not serving you, you being mad at God and people and life, not helpful. Let's break it off and start to like do the work. And again, true bliss is when you are present, you are aware, and you're loving what you like loving your life. And if there's something coming up you don't like, you deal with it, and then you can continue to just fall in love with life, basically. So if you are interested to maybe get on this journey of yourself being more present with life, your experiences, if you're tired of just being stuck, of dissociating, just, I don't know, feeling dreadful, feeling miserable, and you want to feel like you want to be the woman that you want to be confident, you want to be happy, you want to feel like you can deal through things, you just want to be your own person and not be so dependent on how other people do and how they judge you and all that. You just want to be your own person and be your own universe and love and enjoy your life. Then consider joining the Talk Shop. It's a monthly subscription. The website is below, but you will have access to a whole lot of resources, way more personal, intimate videos, group coaching. I'm watching my girls that are in there comment, help each other out. The breakthroughs that they're making, it's a remarkable community, and it's only gonna grow. So make sure you join the Talk Shop. Stop making excuses unless you want to be ignorant. Otherwise, blessings and bliss, and I hope you're able to watch my other videos. Like, comment, subscribe, and let's talk more later.